Hi, this is Catherine Davis, and today I'm going to give a video tutorial on how I created this layout, specifically to how I created the background using the butterfly veneer in the kit. I wanted to play with some contrast here, so I placed the veneer down and I started stamping with the block of white pigment ink from the Color Theory pigment inks. Pigment inks are very thick and wet, so they're almost like a little paint substance. And I like how the blocked look was starting to come out, how you could see the squares. That didn't bother me at all. So I just kept dabbing along, trying to build up that white. It was a little bit harder in the center, so I just kind of tried to turn it on its side where I could and kind of get into all those nooks and crannies. Another thing you could do with this veneer in terms of using it as a mask is you could paint over it on probably a lighter surface. And then also misting would be fabulous with this. I actually toyed around with doing it with a silver mist, but I decided I really, really love this navy paper. Once I was done doing the stamping, I wanted to really define the outline of the silhouette of the butterflies. So using a white gel pen, I went all around the outside and the inside of the veneer. And it just helped that silhouette pop off the page a little bit more and add a little bit more definition. As you can see, I just held the veneer down. I was very careful not to kind of push it to the side so I could keep that outline really even. And then as you can see, once you pull it up, it gives like a nice pop to that outline. Once I was done doing that, I decided that I wanted to use, there were little butterfly stamps in the kit. So just using that white pigment ink again, I started placing the butterflies around the page. I put the main butterfly veneer silhouette to the right because I wanted to do a layout where I'm going to counterbalance it with a photo to the left. Makes it a little bit more interesting to the eye. Adding little stamps like this, it's always an adventure because it's how much do you do? How many do I want to add on here? I just kept going. I was really liking how it looked to overlay the stamp over the silhouette. I also like that we included two different size butterflies because I feel like it gives a sense of dimension, like they're further away and some are closer. I also made sure to stamp them at different angles, again, trying to give that sense of movement on the page and like they're actual butterflies flying at you. I also love how you can play with pigment inks in terms of how much opacity you want. So I didn't really add that much ink every time I was doing a butterfly. I just kind of tapped it a little bit because I want it to have this little bit of a sheer look. And then sometimes I'll also stamp and then stamp again. So it's just a whisper of that stamp. So once I was happy with my stamping, I added just a few simple touches. This chipboard alpha for the M for Maggie is going to go on here. The chipboard heart, just a touch, and then that's balancing out my photo. I added to the left, and then I added just a little bit of pattern paper underneath the photo just to make it pop. I have it lifted off the page with some foam dots. That's a favorite of mine just to add a little bit of dimension. And then I just added a strip of pattern paper along the bottom. That's something I just like to do. I feel like it anchors the page and adds a little bit of color, as well as ties in the pink that kind of goes around the page. So I hope to give you some insight into how I created this page and some ideas on how you can use a veneer as a mask and use pigment ink in a little bit of a different way. If you have any questions about this project, please comment on the post below and I'd be happy to help. And thanks for sticking around and watching the video. I'll see you soon. Bye.